Hey guys, welcome back to the video. Today we're going to be discussing the third and final type of partnership structure. So I've been through general partnerships and I've been through limited partnerships in separate videos. Today we're going to be focused on the third and final type, which is the limited liability partnership. So yeah, let's get into it. So a limited liability partnership, what is it? So a limited liability partnership is a partnership owned entirely by limited partners. So yeah, that's in contrast to general partnerships where all the partners are general partners, so they carry on limited liability. A limited partnership where there's two distinct groups of partners. You've got your general partners, which carry the unlimited liability, and then your limited partner group, which carry limited liability. In a limited liability partnership, you have one group of partners, which is the limited partners, who only hold limited liability, and that means that their liability is limited to how much capital they initially invested into the business. So if the business is to fail, if it's to get to a point where it's unable to pay its debts, it's incurring sort of material significant losses, then the maximum amount that a limited partner can lose is their initial investment amount. They cannot lose their personal assets, their home, their car. The creditors can't come after those assets if the business is to default on its financial obligations. So the home is protected, the car is protected. The creditors can't come after those personal assets of the partners. The maximum amount that the partner can lose is their initial investment amount. Can't lose any more than that. So that's a benefit to entering into a limited liability partnership structure. So yeah, there's no general partners in a limited liability partnership. The business is entirely owned by limited partners. So yeah, no partner is subject to unlimited liability. All the partners in an LLP structure hold limited liability. So the maximum amount of capital that a limited partner can lose is the amount they initially invested into the business. So the day one capital contribution into the business is the maximum amount they can lose. The personal assets that those partners hold, like their home, their car, their art collections, all these personal assets are protected from the creditors in the event of default on the business's debts. So let's think a little bit about how this looks, this structure. So we have, let's just say we've got three partners. So we've got limited partner 1, partner 2, and then we've got the business. So we've got the limited partnership, the LLP. So we can say that, for example, each partner contributes 33%, and they contribute capital to get the business started. So what does that mean in terms of what's being exchanged here? So the partners as a whole will receive limited liability, and in exchange they will receive shared control over the operations. So yeah, the limited partners contribute capital initially to the business to get it started. In exchange, they receive limited liability, so they're not on the hook for, their personal assets aren't on the hook for all the losses that the business could incur. They're only subject to liability on the amount they initially invested. And in exchange, they receive sort of shared control over the decisions made within the business and the direction of the firm and sort of over all the business operations. So that's kind of how the structure works visually. A few other points to note. All the partners will share in the managerial responsibilities. So, typically what happens is the partners are hired or brought in to provide complementary expertise. So each partner will bring something different to the table. Some will be, great with customers or great with clients and developing those relationships. Others will be more sort of back office focused, so will be good with the numbers, good with sort of the legal side of the business and compliance. And what often sort of happens within a limited liability partnership is one partner is appointed as the head of the business, so like the managing partner, and that's often done through a vote. And the managing partner is basically like akin to a CEO of a corporation. So that's kind of typical within an LLP structure. A managing partner is appointed to oversee and run the entire partnership. Similar to other partnership structures, the taxation follows a pass-through structure. So that means that the partnership itself does not pay any corporate income taxes. It generates revenue and generates profits, doesn't pay any tax on those profits. It distributes the profits to the partners based on their relative proportional ownership within the firm, and the partners pay tax based on those profits based on their personal income tax rates. So that's a pass-through structure, and that's what limited liability partnerships follow. And what kind of firms use LLP structures? So most jurisdictions, LLPs can only be used by professional services firms, so like accounting firms, legal firms, organisations that provide professional services to either individuals or other businesses. So that's engineers and architects as well. So all those kind of professional service-led businesses will typically use an LLP structure. And there can also be limits on the number of partners that exist within an LLP and restrictions on additional equity investment. So there's potential upside limits on how much equity capital can be injected into an LLP. Potential upside limits on the number of partners that can kind of coexist within the partnership as well. So that's everything I wanted to cover on limited liability partnerships. Again, I've made videos on general partnerships and limited partnerships in the past, so feel free to go back and watch those and contrast some of the features of an LLP with a general partnership and a limited partnership to kind of get a feel for how the three structures sort of differ, because they are similar in ways but different in other ways. Any questions, feel free to fire them off in the comments, and I'm more than happy to sort of address any questions on any of the three types of partnership structures. And I'll see you guys in the next video.